All right, we'll start with the identification tag on the side. Here you'll find the manufacturer, date it was manufactured, your VIN number, tire sizes, and some weights. You have a tire chart on the left and cargo weights on the right, and also has your VIN number. Up front, your battery. These aren't maintenance-free batteries. You may have to add water to them at some point. If you're not going to be using your unit for a while, I would disconnect it. There is a bit of a power drain come from your stereo and carbon monoxide detector. And for winter storage, I would put it somewhere warm. You have two 20-pound propane tanks. There's a selector in the middle. The arrow points to which tank is going to be feeding. Up front, you have a power jack, on and off for light and up and down. There is a level, and this does come off, and there's a crank that you can use to manually crank it up and down if you run out of power. Underneath, inside, kind of point here, your breakaway. One thing to note with the breakaway, that when the key pulls out, if your battery's connected, it does activate your brakes. So that's one thing to kind of keep an eye on, make sure that stays in. There's stabilizer jacks in all four corners, and also the crank is inside there. Your hot water heater. These are propane and electric, 110. All the controls are on the inside. Really the only thing to know out here is your plug that goes into your drain. Very important for winterization, make sure that your hot water heater is drained. Your sewer dump is here. The gray T handle is your gray water and the black is your black. They are labeled on the side. City water connection here. If you're at a campsite that has water right there, you can just hook your garden hose up to that. You have an outside shower with hot and cold. The vent here is for your fridge. It's there's all the controls are on the inside, so there's really no reason to go into there. Your water fill here for your inboard tank, and then the low point drain here is your water dump, so you have the valve there that you can drain the water. Your wheels, they do have grease nipples in between or behind the rubber garment there, so you can grease your wheel bearings. I recommend doing that once a year. Just a couple squirts with a grease gun is good. If you are putting on lots of miles, I do recommend getting repacked though. Your furnace exhaust and intake there. Just a note, don't store anything in front of that. It's very hot. Your 30 amp power cord is here. Satellite TV input. So that's the input going into the camper. Your sewer hose is in your bumper. And your spare tire is also mounted to the rear bumper. This unit doesn't have a ladder, but I do recommend inspecting your roof, you know, once a year for sure, just to make sure you don't have any rips or tears or cracking sealant. You have some outside speakers. In between your speakers is a vent for your range above your stove. And these little clips here, they hold the flap. So if you want to use your range for exhaust, you have to just undo the clips. Power awning. Outside light there. Power outlet. Your entry door. With these entry doors, this one has the L bracket They're very, got to be careful with them. They break quite easily. So one thing to note with those, just be aware that they are known to break quite easily. In the front compartment here you have your cranks. This is the crank for your jack if you need to ever crank it manually. And these are your stabilizer jack cranks there. So I think that's about it for outside. We'll go inside, take a look.